Have you ever felt like life is consuming you? Does fatigue imprison you, stealing joy and inner peace? Are your shoulders bent under the weight of responsibilities? Today, discover a safe refuge in God's presence. This isn't just another religious teaching. It's an invitation to a transformative experience. In this time of intense pressure, you need more than beautiful words. You need practical and effective solutions. Imagine the possibility of finding tranquility amidst the turmoil, the strength to face challenges with lightness, and the peace that allows you to truly rest. This devotional isn't just reading, it's a journey. You will discover how God's presence can be the perfect antidote to exhaustion, the inexhaustible source of rest you need. Learn to recognize the signs of burnout and how to find refuge in God amidst the chaos. Uncover the secrets to a lighter and more balanced life, fueled by divine strength and grace. More than theory, you will receive concrete insights. You will understand how prayer can be a safe harbor in times of storm, and how reading the Bible can provide you with the wisdom needed to navigate life with more serenity. Discover the key to a calmer heart, a more focused mind, and a revitalized spirit. Prepare for an experience that goes beyond words, a transformative encounter with God's presence. If you seek relief from fatigue and desire to find peace amidst the storm, this journey is for you. Don't miss the opportunity to discover the source of rest that awaits you. Modern life, filled with pressures and responsibilities, often leaves us exhausted. The fast pace, constant demands, and relentless pursuit of results can lead to burnout, stealing our inner peace and our ability to fully enjoy the moments. We often find ourselves overwhelmed, not knowing where to find the balance and rest needed to thrive. This scenario, unfortunately, is common to countless people. Whether a professional dealing with tight deadlines, a student facing academic pressure, or a caregiver burdened by the needs of others, fatigue settles in as an oppressive shadow. The search for effective and lasting relief becomes a pressing need. The solution often lies in a fundamental principle: seeking God's presence. Many feel lost amidst life's turmoil, unsure where to find a safe harbor. God's presence, however, offers a safe refuge, a place of rest and restoration. To understand the importance of this topic, we need to understand that fatigue isn't just physical, but also emotional and spiritual. It can affect our relationships, our work, and our ability to be happy. Chronic fatigue can lead to feelings of hopelessness, frustration, and even depression. Seeking God's presence isn't just a religious practice, but a fundamental need for our mental and emotional health. Learning to find rest in God's presence involves understanding the importance of prayer, Bible reading, and worship. It's a process of surrender and trust, a constant learning that helps us recognize that we are not alone in our struggles. This journey of seeking divine presence empowers us to face difficulties with more serenity and find the strength to move forward, even in the face of adversity. Discover how to find rest in God. Subscribe now and join our community to continue this journey. Share your experiences and insights in the comments. Your feedback is valuable and helps us further improve our content. Together, we can grow in faith and find the peace we seek. To find rest in God's presence, we need to understand that He is not an abstract concept, but a real and present force in our lives. The first step is recognizing the fatigue, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. It's not about ignoring the difficulties, but understanding that you don't have to carry them alone. Imagine a tired child needing their mother's embrace to calm down. Similarly, we need to surrender to God's presence, seeking refuge in His strength. How? Through prayer. It doesn't have to be an elaborate prayer. It can be a simple request for help, a thank you, or a sincere confession. Reading the Bible is essential. It connects us with God's story and shows us how He cares for His children. Look for verses that comfort you and remind you of His love and His promise of rest. Identify patterns in your life that contribute to your exhaustion. Remember that God's presence isn't an isolated event, but a lifestyle. Practice gratitude, focusing on the good things around you. Seek the company of people who inspire and encourage you. And above all, trust in God's plans for your life, even when they seem uncertain. Finally, learn to set boundaries. Saying no to commitments that overwhelm you is crucial to preserving your energy and being present for the things that truly matter. Seek balance between your responsibilities and time spent in God's presence. Imagine an athlete running a marathon. Physical and mental exhaustion accumulates with each kilometer. Muscles ache, breathing becomes labored, and the mind cries out for rest. But the finish line is near. At this crucial moment, what differentiates the athlete who quits from the one who perseveres? The answer lies in the ability to find inner strength, fuel that goes beyond physical strength. This turning point, this crucial moment, is the same one we face in our lives. When we feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and without strength, the tendency is to yield to fatigue, abandon our dreams, and drown in the sea of responsibilities. But what if you find a source of strength beyond yourself? The experience of fatigue is universal. It accompanies us during professional challenges, tense relationships, grief, and loss. It's like an oppressive shadow that prevents us from seeing the horizon, believing in our potential, and connecting with joy. The question isn't whether we will feel tired, but how we will deal with it. It is at this crucial point that God's presence becomes more than an option. It becomes a necessity. It is when our burden becomes unbearable that we need to surrender to something greater than ourselves. It is when faith becomes our anchor, allowing us to navigate turbulent waters and find the much-needed rest. Seeking God's presence isn't an escape from the problem, but a tool to face it with more wisdom and strength. It's a path to finding peace, hope, and clarity that allows us to move forward, even amidst exhaustion. At this crucial moment, God's presence can be the difference between despair and perseverance. Understanding God's presence as a source of rest requires a look beyond the superficial. It's not just a belief, but an experience. Imagine water as a symbol. It can be a rushing river, representing a busy and challenging life. But within it, there is also the stillness of a spring, a place of rest and renewal. This spring in our spiritual journey is God's presence. It is available to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. The first step is recognizing that you need rest. It's not about running away from problems, but recognizing that you don't have to carry them alone. A practical example: imagine you're feeling overwhelmed by daily tasks. Instead of drowning in more responsibilities, stop. Breathe deeply, pause to pray. Seek God's presence, asking Him for strength and wisdom to handle the situation. The Bible, at various times, presents examples of people who found rest in God's presence. Moses, after a difficult journey, found refuge in the desert, in the Lord's presence. David, amidst conflicts and persecution, found peace in his relationship with God. These examples show us that seeking rest isn't a one-time experience, but a continuous journey. To deepen this understanding, prayer practice is essential. It's a conversation with God, a way to connect with His presence and ask for guidance. Set aside a few minutes daily to talk to Him. It doesn't have to be a formal prayer. It can be a simple, "Thank you, Lord, for this day." Remember, God's presence isn't a physical place, but an inner experience. It's an encounter with divine love, grace, and mercy. The key to finding it lies in the constant pursuit of this connection. Imagine you're facing intense pressure at work. The workload is heavy, deadlines are approaching, and fatigue sets in. How can you apply the teachings about God's presence in this scenario? Take a few minutes to breathe deeply and pray. Ask God for wisdom to prioritize tasks and strength to handle the pressures. Another example: you're in a troubled relationship. Constant conflict leaves you exhausted. How can you find rest? Seek connection with God in prayer, asking for discernment and wisdom to handle the situation more balanced. Remember that God's presence isn't a magic solution, but a guide to dealing with life's challenges. A common challenge is lack of time. How can you find time to be in God's presence? Set aside 15 minutes every day, even amidst the rush. Use an alarm, create a ritual, or find a quiet place in your home to connect with the divine presence. Another difficulty can be doubt. If you feel lost or unsure about how to find rest, seek support from other Christians. Talk to friends, family, or religious leaders. Share your struggles and discover that you are not alone on this journey. A common mistake is expecting God to solve all your problems. Divine presence strengthens you to face adversity, but doesn't necessarily eliminate challenges. Faith helps you find balance, deal with difficulties with more serenity, and find the strength to move forward. Finally, remember that God's presence is a process, not an event. It's a lifestyle, a continuous journey of seeking and growth. Be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories, and remember that with constant practice, you will find the rest you need in the Lord's presence. To find deep and lasting rest in God's presence, it's crucial to understand the importance of gratitude practice. Recognizing the blessings in your life, even the small ones, creates space for the divine presence to manifest. A recent study showed that individuals who regularly practice gratitude report higher levels of well-being and satisfaction. Furthermore, meditation can be a powerful tool for connecting with God's presence. By calming the mind, we can open ourselves to inner listening and divine presence. Imagine a moment of silence where you connect with your breath and leave behind worries. In this state of serenity, God's presence becomes more palpable. An inspiring example is people who have faced great losses and found solace in God's presence. Stories of overcoming unwavering faith and seeking divine comfort show us the transformative power of divine presence. These stories remind us that even amidst suffering, God's presence can be a safe refuge. A crucial step is seeking community. Sharing your experiences with other Christians creates an environment of support and encouragement. Participating in prayer groups, Bible studies, or simply talking to friends about your faith can strengthen your spiritual journey. Another important point is forgiveness. Forgiving yourself and others is essential to finding inner peace. When we release resentment and bitterness, we create space for God's presence to manifest in our lives. This practice leads us to a state of serenity and acceptance. By integrating these strategies, you move beyond the superficial search for rest to a deeper and more lasting experience. God's presence isn't a destination, but a continuous process of seeking and growth. With practice and perseverance, you will discover the peace and rest you seek on your journey. A recent study published in the scientific Journal of Positive Psychology analyzed the correlation between spiritual practices and well-being. The results indicated a strong association between seeking God's presence and reducing stress and anxiety. People who report a regular connection with the divine have shown higher levels of resilience and personal satisfaction. This research, corroborated by countless accounts of people who found comfort and strength in times of difficulty, highlights the practical importance of understanding God's presence as a source of rest. Imagine a professional facing a challenging project. Instead of drowning in more work, they connect with God in prayer, seeking guidance and strength. This can lead to more informed decision-making and more effective stress management. Furthermore, research demonstrates that gratitude practice, an essential element in seeking God's presence, positively impacts mental health. By focusing on the blessings in their lives, people can develop a more optimistic and balanced perspective, which has significant implications for managing fatigue and stress. Consider the case of a mother dealing with the demands of raising a family. Amidst a busy routine, she finds moments of prayer and reflection, seeking God's presence as a source of strength and wisdom. This practice can help her handle pressures and find balance in her life. These scientific findings, combined with real-life examples, reinforce the importance of seeking God's presence as a practical and effective tool for dealing with fatigue. The divine presence isn't an abstract concept, but a real resource that can bring peace, strength, and wisdom amidst the difficulties of modern life. It has tangible implications for mental and emotional health and for facing daily challenges. Now let's address a crucial question. How can you apply these insights to your daily life? A key point is consistency. Imagine an athlete who only trains on Fridays. They won't achieve the same level of performance as an athlete who trains daily. Similarly, seeking God's presence requires regular commitment. A mental wellness expert said that small daily practices like 10 minutes of prayer or Bible reading can make a huge difference. It doesn't have to be a grand event. It can be a moment of genuine connection with something greater than yourself. What if you still have doubts? Feeling uncertain is normal. Many question God's existence or how to connect with Him. Remember that faith is a process, not a destination. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The key is seeking, exploring, and having personal experience. If you're feeling lost, seek a mentor, religious leader, or trusted friend. Another common question is whether seeking rest in God is just an escape from difficulties. Actually, it's the opposite. It's a strengthening to face them with more clarity and wisdom. It's like having a map to navigate a storm. You may have the storm, but with the map, you can find safe harbor. Ultimately, the journey of finding rest in God's presence is personal. There's no single path. It's about creating a habit, cultivating faith, and above all, trusting the process. If you're feeling overwhelmed, tired, or lost, remember that God's presence is available to you right now. It's an invitation to a journey of discovery and growth. Let's recap the key points. We discovered that weariness is a universal experience, but God's presence can be a safe refuge in the midst of the storm. We learned that seeking rest isn't an escape, but a strengthening to face life's challenges with more clarity and wisdom. We saw how prayer, Bible reading, gratitude, and seeking community can be practical tools to find this rest. Now, how can we apply these teachings in practice? First, set aside daily time to connect with God, whether through prayer, reading, meditation, or worship. 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. Second, cultivate gratitude. Identify the blessings in your life, no matter how small. Third, strengthen your bonds with fellow Christians. Share your experiences, seek support, and learn from the examples of faith in others. These practices aren't just religious, they're essential tools for well-being. By connecting with God, you'll find an inexhaustible source of strength and peace. Imagine the serenity this will bring to your life. You'll be better prepared to handle pressures, more confident in your decisions, and more connected to your essence. These benefits aren't just spiritual. They reflect in every aspect of your life, from your work to your relationships. So, the next step is action. Begin incorporating these practices into your routine today. Set aside time to pray, read a Bible verse, or simply thank God for something good in your life. Each small step will lead you to a deeper and more rewarding experience with God's presence. Share this knowledge with your friends and family. Together, we can find the rest we've been seeking. Reflect on the journey we've taken. We discovered that weariness, though inevitable, doesn't have to be insurmountable. God's presence is a real and accessible force, a safe haven amidst life's storms. It's not a destination, but a continuous process of seeking and growth. Remember that faith is a muscle that strengthens with use. The more you connect with God, the more resilient and confident you become. Imagine the peace this will bring to your life, the clarity that will allow you to make better decisions, and the strength to overcome any obstacle. Seeking God's presence isn't a difficult task, but a journey of discovery and growth. It's an invitation to a more fulfilling, meaningful, and more connected life with the divine. Each step, each prayer, each moment of gratitude brings you closer to this transformative presence. So, don't put off this journey until tomorrow. Start incorporating the practices we learned today. Set aside time to connect with God, cultivate gratitude, and strengthen your bonds with fellow Christians. Each small step will lead you to a deeper and more rewarding experience with the Lord. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. The faith community is here to support and encourage you. Continue exploring the topic of God's presence, delving into Bible studies, inspiring books, and conversations with people who share your faith. The journey is long and rewarding, and God's presence is your best travel companion.